My goodness, inheriting a property that can be very awesome. It could also be very bittersweet because you're maybe mourning the death or the loss of a loved one who granted you this property. It also can be very challenging because now you have the responsibility of ownership. And if you're living out of state or even if you're in state and the mounting taxes or possibly mortgages that come each month and other expenses may be something that you weren't considering and may add an extra burden to you. So today, you also may be thinking about, okay, how do I, if I sell this property, I could use the funds to really improve my life in different places, but I need to think about the tax consequences of selling that property. What's going on, everyone? Courtney Rollins, Estate Pro Services, Life and Transitions Experts podcast is where you listen to this. Perhaps you're on YouTube or some platform that's projecting this podcast or video. Very excited to have you here. Go check us out on YouTube, Life and Transitions Experts, YouTube, and the Facebook channel to actually see these videos in person and to see other resources that we have and join the community so that you can help build your business that's hopefully geared towards changing people's lives through those big transitions, as well as getting resources such as the resource hopefully this will be for you today. So again, you inherited a property, you're thinking about what are the tax consequences. Well, if you're, let me just say real quick, my disclaimer, I'm not a attorney or offering any legal or financial advice. I am sharing my experience and my opinions from the time that I've spent in Durham County, North Carolina, understanding, learning the tax laws and helping families through the probate process. Now, the tax laws for selling a property have been created in a way that should not add an extra burden to you, specifically when you inherit property. The United States government appreciates and encourages home ownership. And so there are a lot of tax benefits from owning property, whether it's investment or as your home. But there are also some implications that may be daunting, particularly if you decide to sell it. So in order to understand how you're taxed, you need to understand a couple of things. One is understand the calculation of basis. So what is the basis that they are using or folks are going to use in Durham, North Carolina and across the nation to decide how much the property is valued for. And so this basis is based off of the time of the descendant's death. What is the market value? And it's always moved up or perhaps moved down depending on when they purchased. So for instance, someone purchased, a property 20 years ago and it's worth $28,000. But today, at the time of the descendant's death, it was worth $110,000. So the property now is valued at $110,000. And that's what they're going to base a portion of the capital gains off of. All right, the taxation of gains and losses. So capital gains or losses refer to what happens, how much you earn or lose from selling the property. And that could be really any property, houses, furniture, and other things. But we're talking about inherited properties, particularly in Durham, North Carolina here. But that sale of that property is regarded as a gain or loss for income. And you have to notify the appropriate authorities, the big IRS, Uncle Sam, of how much you earned or lost from the sale. And that is divided. That's just subtracting how much you sold it for minus the basis that we just spoke about. There are ways that you can actually lower your tax rate if you hold on to the property for longer than a year before you sell it. But if you sell that property and only hold on to it for less than a year, then you are in a higher tax bracket and you're going to be taxed at a higher rate, which means more money to Uncle Sam and less money in your pocket to help you and your family do certain things. But there are things you can do. Hold it longer than a year. Or if you want to sell it now, there's a way you can sell your property now and still create terms that allow you to get a monthly income as well as take advantage of that lower tax bracket if you extend the terms out longer than a year. Of course, contact us at Estate Pro Service LLC if you'd like to learn more ways and discuss ways that you can relieve the tax burden and possibly produce even more monthly income. That is awesome. Now, again, remember, you have to report the sale of the property. So that's subtracting how much it's worth minus how much you sold it for. All right. Those are some of the first steps. Now, if you inherit the property, you also need to make sure that you have properly you have the legal right to sell the property. And that means quite often it has to go through the probate process, unless there's some other legal remedy set up. Perhaps there's survivorship that transfers the ownership. But you still, even in those situations, there may be some taxes that have to be paid, and that has to be paid through the probate process. Or perhaps the descendant had a living trust set up that allowed a simple trust administration to convey you the right to own the property and do as you wish. In that case, you wouldn't necessarily go through probate, and it's a little smoother, which is one reason we all need to have living trust and trust set up so that we can help our family members that we leave behind or are left behind not have the burden of going through probate. But you will have to go through probate in most cases if you decide to sell. And just a reminder, probate is the situation, the legal procedure that closes out, that takes care of all the affairs of a descendant. Someone passed away, they have assets, liabilities, taxes that they have to pay, inheritance that they have to administer, and of course they're passed away, so someone has to do that, and probate the legal process of doing that. And at State Pro Service, we are the certified probates, particularly in Durham, North Carolina, and we can help you through the process because it is not pleasing, it is not fun, and there's a lot of filing, there's a lot of timing, and there's a lot of paperwork, and there's a lot of funds and expenses that can be navigated and hopefully streamlined and made more efficient if you have the support of someone like a State Pro Service, and of course you have the support of an awesome attorney that's helping along the way. I like to think that a State Pro Service, we pick up everywhere where the attorneys leave off, and are really a part of the team that helps you and your family make it through this process. Now, again, if you're interested in learning more about it, come check us out. Go to estateproservice.com. If you are a real estate professional or an estate attorney or a family attorney or professional that's helping families in this situation, I would love to contact you. I would love for you to contact me as well. Let's speak. Let's chat. I am hosting a professional once a week and having an interview during these podcasts and on these YouTube channels so that I can grow and learn and connect awesome resources to folks like you listening out here. If you want to be a part of that, again, hit me up. Life and Transitions Experts Facebook group, Life and Transitions Experts on YouTube, and of course, Estate Pro Service LLC is the website you go to look at and check out all the services that we provide. All right, folks, if you have any other questions or need any support, of course, love to help you. And please hit that like, subscribe, and also share any feedback. Would love to grow. And I'm a lifelong learner, so that means being humble enough to receive the feedback. So we'd love to hear it, and I hope that this is helpful. Rising tides, y'all. It lifts all sails. Peace.